Okay, y'all, look, I want to get on here because I was reading my Bible, right? And I started in Genesis, like we all should do. And I was studying it, and I ran across chapter 9, verses 12. Genesis chapter 9, verses 12. And I'm going to read it to you, okay? And it states, "And God said, this is the token of my covenant, which I make between me." And it reads, "And God said, this is the token of the covenant which I make between me and you, and every living creature that is with you, for generations to come. I do set my bow in the cloud." Basically, he set his representation in a cloud. "And it shall be for a token of covenant between me and the earth. And it shall come to pass when I bring a cloud over the earth, that the bow shall be seen in the cloud." Now, when it say bow, because I'm reading out the King James version, the old stomping ground version, right? And when it say bow, it really means rainbow. Okay, so don't get confused on that. When I say bow, I mean rainbow. Okay, it's like the reading rainbow. Okay, so stay with me. Okay. It say, "I will remember my covenant which is between me and you and every living creature of the flesh. And the water shall no more become a flood to destroy all flesh. And the bow shall be in the cloud. And I will look up on it, that I may remember the everlasting covenant between God and every living creature of all flesh that is up on earth." And then in read 17, Noah agreed to the covenant, meaning let's break down covenant. Covenant is nothing but an agreement. We make agreements every day. We make covenants every day with people, places, or things. And that's all God is telling Noah, is that I will never destroy the earth again with flood waters. And that's what God is telling you. I will never destroy you again in that way ever again. Because when you look up in the clouds, see, it's one thing to see a rainbow. The rainbow. Like this. Okay, it's one thing to see that, but then it's another one to see a rainbow in the cloud. So we got to be very, very careful when we read and when we comprehend things, because God did not just say when you see a rainbow in the sky. He said, when you see a rainbow in the cloud, that is my promise to you, that I will never destroy the earth again with flood water. My covenant between you, your generation to come, and the living creatures. So the living creatures already know, hey, if we gonna die, it won't be because of water. It won't be because of flood water waiting 40 days and 40 nights. It won't be because of that. God is really telling you, hey, I will never hurt you in that way. So as you riding down the street and you see a glare in the cloud, as a rainbow, similar to this, and you just came out of a situation, you didn't know that you was going to get out of, that is God promised to you that he will never destroy you or hurt you in that way again. And as long as you keep holding on to that covenant and say, I agree with this. This is my binding contract with you and I, that you would never place me in that situation again. I would never place myself in that situation again. I would never be hurt again in that situation. When I look up in the sky, I see that cloud, that rainbow in that cloud. I know that's God talking to me. I know that's God saying, I will never hurt you like that again. I will never put you through that situation again. I will never do that to you again. Because I know you learned something from it. And once I know that you learned something from it, you will never have to repeat it again. Because one thing I want to leave you is this. Mistakes is only when you learn from it. A routine is something that you keep repeating. So you got to ask yourself, am I ready to learn from this mistake? Or am I ready to make it a routine? Because if you're ready to make it a routine, you won't never see that cloud in that sky. I mean, you will never see that rainbow in that cloud. Maybe you would just see that rainbow in the sky. But you will never see the covenant, the agreement that God will make with you to say, I will never hurt you in that way again. So you got to ask yourself, do I want this to be a mistake, or do I want to make this a routine? And then you look for the signs to know, hey, I made it out of that, and I know I'll never do that again. So look for your rainbow in the cloud. Not in the sky, but in the clouds. That's your confirmation to know you passed the test. You made it out. God is making a covenant with you and say, I will never hurt you in that way again.